Good afternoon, thank you very much and welcome here to Hawkfield, the Manguard Plus Kildare Centre of Excellence for a big day in the TG4 All-Ireland Ladies Football Championships, especially in the intermediate competition that we're watching here as it's the final round of games. 13 teams have started this competition throughout the LGV streaming service. 5 will be knocked out today, but will one of these teams, Kildare or Louth, exit the championship? I'm Darren Kelly, delighted to be joined in the commentary box by Tommy O'Connell. And Tommy, Kildare will come in as strong favourites. They are at home, they've beaten Leitrim already, but we'll only have to go back to last February to realise you can't take anything for granted.
Absolutely. Louth are the only team in this calendar year to beat Kildare. And we know what happened in the championship a short while ago. Kildare had a 14-point win over Louth. But as we say, Louth are the only team to beat Kildare this year, and that's huge. We've seen Kildare put in some big performances this year in big games. Louth are missing a couple of key players. We see a couple of changes that you'll fill us in with fairly shortly. But looking forward to a really good game. We had a rumble of thunder there about 10 minutes ago as well, so we're all looking over to our left at the sky. We're hoping it won't ruin a good game.
Hopefully it won't as well, but of course, even in the situation to explain to you, Kildare with a victory against Leitrim, 5-10 to 4-8. That was in round 1. They come in with 3 points and a +5 scoring difference. Louth lost to Leitrim last week, 2-8 to 1-9. They have a -2 scoring difference. As many people in Leitrim have keen interest in this game, because quite simply, Tommy, it's out of Leitrim's hands. If Louth win this game, especially by anything less than 7 or 8 points, Leitrim will be out of the championship. But if Louth don't get a win at all, Kildare get a draw or a victory, then Kildare will top the group of a home quarter-final and Leitrim will still be in.
They will, absolutely. And I can imagine there are a lot of people tuning in up in the northwest for this game. Like how important it is for them. You know, they put in a really good performance against Kildare in Carrick-on-Shannon. They scored a lot of goals. It was an open game. It was a beautiful day. And they turned Louth over there recently as well. That wasn't a big surprise. A lot of people look at them in Division 4 this year. They just fell down in the final against a really good Antrim team. You know, Leitrim are there, they're listening, they're watching it today, they're hoping for a Kildare win. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
Leitrim will be wearing the lily white jerseys here today. So let's look at the two teams. As Tommy mentioned, the rain has started the break here too. Hopefully we don't get that thunder, and of course we'll look at the referee Kevin Corcoran of Mayo if that happens over the course of this game. Let's start with the Kildare team. One change from the side that beat Leitrim 2 weeks ago, with Lauren Murtagh coming into the team, named the right wing back. Now positionally that could change. She replaces Sarah Money. So let's look at them. The Kildare team: in goal Mary Hulgrain, full back line 2 Lauren Burke, 3 Leisha Linehan, and 4 is Aoife Clifford. The half back line were number 5 Larry Gilbert, centre back number 6 is Ruth Sargent, and now number 25 Lauren Murtagh starts this game. The captain of Kildare is number 8 Grace Clifford, partner number 9 Aoife Rattigan, half forward line 10 Claire O'Sullivan, 11 Nasa Dooley, 12 Roisin Byrne, and the inside line top of the right number 13 Ellen Dowling, 14 Trina Duggan, and 15 is Lara Kern.
Yeah, in fairness now, it is a very strong Kildare team. We see Lauren Murtagh coming in. Sarah Munley has played the majority of games. I think she only missed 1 game this year. She didn't start 1 game for Kildare, so she might be a little bit disappointed. Lauren Murtagh is a fantastic replacement, a really good all-rounder, a granddaughter of Babs Keating and a daughter of Johnny Murtagh, you know, so she's had some really good stock there as well. But looking forward to see how she gets on. Roisin Byrne, centre half, Roisin Byrne there in the forward line as well. I mean, we all know about her player of the year for Kildare so far. She's taken a lot of pressure off Nessa Dooley this year. Last year there was a lot of pressure on Nessa's shoulders. Roisin come back from injury this year. She's absolutely shot the lights out across the championship and the league. Really looking forward to see how she gets on again today.
Roisin Byrne is the key name. 429 she has scored over the course of the Leinster Championship and the opening game. Lauren Murtagh making her first start for Kildare. I think it's 3 changes in total for Louth from the team that beat by Leitrim last week, but we'll run through their starting team. Rebecca Lamfagan in goal, full back line of 2 Emer Murray, 3 Ailish Hand, and 4 is Rachel Burt. The half back line were number 5 Shoda Matthews, centre back number 6 is Quiva Boyle, and wearing 21 is Niamh Rice. In midfield were number 8 is the captain of Louth, Anya Breen, partner number 9 Aoife Halligan, the half forward line 10 Mia Duffy, 11 Kate Flood, and 12 Lucy White. Inside line top of the right number 13 Aoife Russell, full forward number 20 Lauren Boyle. Many thought she was surprised she didn't start the last day, and 15 is Laura Collins. But of course, Tommy, one key name in Louth's defence missing here today, and that's a massive blow for them.
Yeah, Shannon McLaughlin missing the centre half back is an absolutely huge loss. So there's a bit of pressure on Quiva Boyle. We know Kildare like to break through the middle. You know, Shannon was so good at stopping a lot of those attacks, especially throughout the league as well. So we'll see how they get on. You know, we have Kate Flood there as well, might drop back a little bit deeper to pick up a bit of ball, start a few counter attacks, and of course Kildare really have to keep an eye on Laura Collins. We know how good she was in the league as well. She got on the team in the league, so we're looking forward to see how she gets on. So we're nearly ready to go here now, Daz.
We are nearly ready to go. You can see the Louth team on your picture. This is a very important game for them, for both teams, for Leitrim as well. Louth have to win. It's that simple, or they're going out with the championship. Now, before Ron Naveen, we are going to have a minute's silence in memory of Ray Cribben from Kildare, who passed away yesterday, and also James Hannon from Louth. So our thoughts and prayers with both the Cribben and Hannon families and everybody who are very close to Ray and Santa James, or Yeshiva or Anam Usul. But as you can see in the middle of the field there, you can probably hear in the background too that weather has fallen. It's getting heavier. Hopefully it doesn't spoil the game. Just before we have the minute silence, Tommy, we might be going through it in a moment. We'll actually wait there because I think the announcement is being made for that minute silence. And now as well, of course, you'll see the two players mingling in here as well. Of course, we're not going to ignore the news. We know the situation regards the female intercounty players last week as well. We saw in Camogie yesterday getting together as a sign of unity too, but they'll be getting together most importantly for the minute silence in memory of both Ray Crippen and James Hannon.
Exactly. Now, we said we saw it in the Camogie yesterday, so we're going to see it today. We also saw the Camogie players sitting down on the field yesterday for 30 seconds. Maybe we'll see that might happen again.
We'll see that, but firstly now they join together for a minute silence in memory of Ray Crippen from Kildare and James Hannon from Louth. So now we're going to have a Raw Naveen, and again one last time, for Yeshiva and Musul, for Ray Crippen and for James Hannon. That was a Raw Naveen, and we're getting ready now. As you can see, the players sitting down. So while they're doing that, let's look back a bit of history. The 19th of February in this very ground, the fourth round of the Little Ladies National Football League. Louth caused a shock, beating Kildare 1-5 to 7 points. I had them 4 wins out of 4 at the time. But since then, Louth have only won 1 competitive game in 8 contests. That was against Wicklow in the Leinster Championship. Kildare, they're going for a 10th consecutive victory here today. The momentum certainly with the Lily Whites.
Kildare have absolutely been fantastic all year. I mean, that performance against Louth here, that was something that Diana Hoare really worked on. You know, it was the first time all year I think that Roisin Byrne was kept scoreless. I mean, if you do that, if you shut down Roisin Byrne, it's going to be huge in the overall. Like, Louth came straight through the middle that day against Kildare. The amount of times the team was opened up in the middle, and you know, Louth kicked some good scores. Mary Hull-Graham pulled off some great saves, but the goal said all that day. You know, the goal put that tie to rest. Kildare have kicked on fantastically well since then. Louth have been very disappointing, to be honest, in the months leading up to that, because they had such a great start to the league. Today's a big day for them. Today's knockout football for Louth. You know, they have to win. They have to win
as well, and even as you mentioned, Kildare, they scored 25 goals in the 9 games since that. Of course, Louth, not really known as prolific goal scorers, even though they did get 5 against Wicklow in the opening game of the championship. You would feel that Louth are going to have to make sure that they don't score less goals than Kildare in this match.
No, you said it as well. Nessa Dooley a hat-trick last week, and that's what Nessa does. She scores hat-tricks. You know, that's her thing. I mean, I think she scored 8 goals this season already. You know, Roisin as well will always look for the back of the net. I think Louth have to keep Kildare out of the goals big time today, and they have to score goals. Here we go.
Laura Collins got a hat-trick against Wicklow the opening day of the Leinster Championship as well. She wears 15 for Louth there in red, attacking the goal to the left in the first half, and the pass down in the direction of Niamh Rice. Not really working out. Niamh Rice has often played a half forward over the course of the campaign, but it looks like she has started at wing back. That is Lauren Murtagh moving down the left there, but Niamh Rice coming back now, involved in the defensive action, and I might be mixing her up there as well. She'll be mobile around the centre of the field. The linesman, the far side of the field, says it's going to be a sideline kick for Kildare. The referee for this match is Kevin Corcoran from County Mayo, an experienced official as well, refereed the All-Ireland Junior final last year. Kildare to restart the action. Thankfully the rain has gone away for a moment, but of course there are some dark clouds still hovering around, so we can't can't take anything for granted, but these two teams will come to play. Ruth Sargent wears number 6, gives the pass back to a teammate and a long ball down and towards the corner. An excellent take as well, and that is Nasa Dooley. She's a dangerous scorer as well. Trina Duggan coming inside, started the season in defence, now as an attacker. The ball across, didn't find Nasa Dooley, but Trina Duggan fouls as the official and a free in for Kildare.
That's Nessa Dooley in a nutshell. That's exactly what Nessa does. Nessa gets into those great positions. She's so good in the air. When she wins that ball, she turns quickly and she cuts in tight. Trina Duggan giving her fantastic support there again. Kildare unlucky not to get that palmed into the net, but Roisin looked to put this over.
Roisin Byrne, as we mentioned at the start, has scored 429 in the championship so far in the 6 outings that Kildare have had. So if this goes over the bar, it'll be her 30th white flag of the championship of 2023. Roisin Byrne, the tallies player for Kildare. Can she get them off the mark here in Mangard plus Kildare centre of excellence with the kick? Never a doubt, Tommy, the ball goes over the bar, 1-0 Kildare.
It was some great attacking ball. Originally, actually, from Louth, it wasn't good defence out the side, just the ball did drift over the line. Seen as well, Ruth Sargent, an early burst from half back from Kildare right up the field. Kildare going to look and push up on this kick out.
Rebecca Lamfagan is the goalkeeper for Louth, and she sends it down towards the 45-metre line. 2 players were there, including Anya Breen, but it was actually Niamh Rice that took possession of the lead road, gives the pass off for Aoife Halligan. Aoife Halligan back out to Anya Breen. The three of them working in tandem. That's what Louth will have to do to get a result here. They'll try and keep it tight like they did in the league match, but they will know they have to get scores. The scoring difference does favour Louth, though. 1 point, like what happened in the league, will be enough for them to ensure their place in the quarter-finals, even if it's an away game as well. They'll have to win by a good score of about 9 points to have a home quarter-final in the knockout stages of the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. Aoife Russell, the player in possession, sends a pass down. An important touch there by Ellen Dowling. Doesn't quite stop the Louth momentum as Aoife Halligan tries to gain a few more yards, but she needs some support, and Louth are holding it in the middle of the park. Kildare have the bodies back. They don't want to take any risks. Diana Hoare, their manager, talked about the disappointment of conceding 4 goals to Leitrim in the opening rounds, and Kildare can afford to lose this game by a couple of points, but they will try and win it and bring us back here or maybe somewhere else. But that's an opportunity for Kate Flood with a shot, and Kate Flood puts the ball over the bar to level for Louth. A player, Tommy, we didn't get a chance to talk about in the intro, but a very, very important player for Louth.
That's what Kate Flood does. Kate Flood gets into those positions. Again, she is so strong. Herself and Roisin Byrne are very similar because they're so strong, they're fast, but they're really good at getting the ball in tight. Lovely point to start off. Could have been a goal.
Could have been a goal too, and Kate Flood well capable of doing that. Aoife Clifford started off this attack. Lauren Merchant followed as well. You can see the orange boots of the captain, Grace Clifford, in the middle of the field. Offloads it out towards the left, toward Claire Sullivan. Claire Sullivan with a hand pass in the direction of Lara Kern. Lara Kern trying to get away from Ailish Hand, and the ball goes out over the line, and Louth have managed to break down that Kildare attack, and they'll see now, can they add another score? There's no real wind of note here in the Kildare Centre of Excellence. I'm just looking around to see if there's any flag moving. I can't even see the flags, but I can see 1 or 2 now. They're not even moving. That's how camp it is. But Tommy, as you mentioned at the start, that also increases the chances of more thunder later on.
Of course, absolutely. And just looking at the way the 2 teams have set up at the start, here's another great ball in there.
Another great ball in there for Louth now as Anya Breen sent it inside there for Lauren Boyle. Lauren Boyle in possession, one of the top 2 scorers for Louth this year, gives the pass off for Laura Collins. She's their top scorer with 313 in the championship so far, and Kildare managed to break it down. Lara Gilbert had possession of the lead roach, and it's a free out for Kevin. And Tommy, you were saying there?
I was just saying that it was interesting that both teams were going, it seemed like they were going full on attack. Kildare held the ball a lot against Leitrim, and Louth tried to do the same as well. There was a lot of possession play in their own half. This just seems like it could be end to end. We could be in for a good game.
Yeah, it's setting up like that so far, but of course it would be understandable if both of them got a bit conservative too. Leitrim fans will be hoping the more open this game is, the better, because it increases the chance of a big margin if needed, or just the result that they want. Aoife Radigan gives the pass to Ruth Sargent, and Ruth Sargent to Trina Duggan. Trina Duggan with the hand pass forward for Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford, the captain, sends it inside, and this is another good opportunity for Kildare for Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne with the kick. Route 1 football down the middle. Roisin Byrne gets the score. 2-1 Kildare.
Yeah, never in doubt when Roisin Byrne gets into those positions, but again, that's what Grace Clifford does so well. She gets into those positions, she looks for the good foot pass into the forwards, almost like a quarterback. She does great there again.
She did very good too, and Kildare will happily build scores like that all afternoon if it yields the dividends that they got just there. Louth will be patient, they won't give up, but a mistake there from Mia Duffy, and Grace Clifford has the ball again. She was fouled in the process, and Grace is not wasting time. Where's Roisin? Probably could have taken an extra half a second on that occasion, and blocked down by Aoife Russell, back helping out the Louth defence in the first half. Aoife Halligan with the ball, a bit ambitious there and well read by Kildare and well read by Lara Gilbert. Can she win the ball? It was touched on the ground. The referee says it's going to be a loud free, and Anya Breen, but again, Tommy, as you're just saying there, we just watched this first. Anya Breen with the kick down. They're not with neither team wasting any time here, and Kildare take back possession.
Yeah, Lauren Burke there again, very good defence. A lot of people gave her man of the match in that Leinster final win recently, so she's a big player in defence for Kildare. She's
a big player for Kildare. They don't want to concede any goals. They want to come back here or to have a home quarter final in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Championship, and all they need to do to guarantee that is avoid defeat. Ellen Dowling with the ball in the middle of the field, looking around for options between the 265s here, and Louth just standing off her at the moment, getting the bodies back to Ruth Sargent from Easttown, and Ruth Sargent, the centre back for Kildare, has support on the right. The very busy Lara Gilbert in the last few minutes getting well involved in a kick down the direction of Trina Duggan. Might be just a bit too much purchase in that. Trina Duggan trying to keep the ball in play, and she has managed to keep the ball in play, and spaces open up here for Kildare because Aoife Radigan has the ball. Aoife Radigan sends it across, danger here for a shot, and it's all gone across the goal. And Kildare, for a moment I was convinced that ball had gone in. Not to be, the danger has not been averted yet, but Kildare, a dangerous high ball inside, and it nearly got them the green flag to get themselves up and going in this game. Grace Clifford with possession. The player that got the touch, of course, was Roisin Byrne. This is Claire Sullivan out the far side of the field, being marshalled by Lauren Boyle, who's back in defence there trying to help out Louth. And the Louth players, Tommy, just in the early stages, being gradually pushed back to defence.
Yeah, you can see that's exactly what they think they have to do now for the moment, even just to try. There's nice interception from Louth.
And Rachel Burt was the player that won that too with Louth. Can't afford to be making mistakes like that because Kildare have taken it back. Aoife Radigan, if she wins this ball, has options. The collision between the two players, I think the referee might have indicated a pull of the jersey, but either way, it's going to be a Kildare free, and the question really is, does Roisin Byrne fancy it? And of course, I see Roisin Byrne running up from the corner forward position that she looks like she's playing in at the moment. She's going to have a go at this.
She is, of course, and she does have the distance. As you said, there's not much wind out there at the moment. Roisin has shown before, anywhere around that 45-metre line. She does have the distance and the accuracy, of course, as we know. Allowed to be disappointed there that they give up that ball. They were coming out at pace and they just gave it up very easily, I think.
Yeah, after Rachel Burt winning the ball, they needed to make something out of this. Now they can find themselves 2 points down. Roisin Byrne with the free. The ball goes over the bar. 8 minutes gone in this game, 3 points to 1.
Yeah, good start for Kildare, good start for Roisin. In fairness, Kildare could have had a goal. I don't know how that ball stayed out. You couldn't see from here, it drifted across the line. That was great work from Trina Duggan to keep the ball in on the end line as well. Kildare pushing up on the kick out again.
Yeah, it was like slow motion as well, the way it went across. It let off for Louth, but they have to take advantage of it. Anya Breen in possession there, leaving 2 players behind her. Where are the options in front? She'll be looking for Laura Collins, no doubt. Lays the ball off, and this is the number 11, Kate Flood. Kate Flood gets blocked down. Ruth Sargent, the Kildare halfbacks doing their work very well in this game. Shoda Matthews, where's number 5 for Louth? Sending the ball back to Rachel Burt. Rachel Burt from the St. Vincent's Club, but they've lost the ball again, and Louth have given the possession and the charge there, and it's against the Kildare player. Now, it is the rule, I suppose, but even still, at times you see that, but the decision goes Louth's way, and Kildare will be disappointed with that.
They will. It was a very good turnover by Ellen as well. She will be disappointed. It's very difficult when you're standing dead straight like that and you're making the momentum. If the Louth player just stands still, it's counted as charging. As you say, it's in the rule book.
It is in the rule book as well. Anya Breen took the free down, but Kildare say thank you very much. We'll have the ball back, and now they'll move it out. Kildare have been flirting with the top spot in the TG4 Intermediate Championship all the way back since the last won the title back in 2016. Of course, they had a year in senior before getting relegated back to the intermediate ranks. They did have a disappointing championship last year, going out in the group stages with defeats to Longford and Roscommon. Beforehand as well, they were in the semi-final in 2021, losing to Westmeath, who went on to win the All-Ireland title. Louth to be more consistent. They're looking to reach their 3rd quarter-final in a row after the defeats to Laois and Roscommon the last 2 years, but they know the job they have to do, but they're behind at the moment. And this is Lauren Murta. Lauren Murta on the move, gives it to Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford was looking for the teammate. She might have gone herself. Aoife Radigan turning inside, will try to turn inside 4 players, but held on to the ball. Grace Clifford out to the right to Trina Duggan, and Trina Duggan sees Nessa Dooley moving inside, and Nessa now holding the ball again back to the captain. The captain, Grace Clifford, she sends the ball across the field, and the Kildare will say, right, we'll go another way. Ruth Sargent turning inside, gives it to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan has the space for the shot, and Aoife Radigan puts the ball over the bar. An excellent team move from Kildare, and they go 3 points in front.
A lovely score from Aoife Radigan again. Ruth Sargent is really playing well at 6. She's pushing up a lot. Ruth only a minor last year. A fantastic young player. She's on that DCU senior team as well, only 18 years of age. A fantastic asset at the centre back for Kildare. winning a lot of ball and starting a lot of attacks.
Starting a lot of attacks as well, and we mentioned the halfbacks do very, very well, and that's the structure that Diane O'Hora has brought into this Kildare team this year. She was part of the management team last year, now the manager herself, and Louth penalised for over carrying the ball, and we'll just keep an eye out for Roisin again to see does she fancy having a go with this, and this will be an opportunity for Kildare to stretch the margin out. Remember, Kildare just want any results for them, and they'll send themselves and Leitrim into the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Quarter-Finals. We look at the clock, 11 minutes gone. Kildare 4 points, Louth 1. Can Roisin Byrne get her fourth of the afternoon? Roisin Byrne with the kick. It might just not happen on this occasion. I believe, Tommy, that's the first wide of the game.
It is, and in fairness, Roisin will be disappointed with that. But, you know, a couple of good points so far. Louth need to start getting the ball up towards Kate Flood, and she's dropping deeper and deeper to get the ball, because in fairness, Laura Collins at the moment is being well marshalled up there.
Louth goes short this time to Rachel Burt. She's been well involved in the play the last couple of moments, needs her teammates to help her out with what needs to be done. The ball across to Aoife Russell, and Aoife Russell to the goalkeeper from St. Patrick's, Rebecca Lamb-Fagan, and Rebecca out to the left to Mia Duffy. Mia Duffy plays her club football with St. Kevin's. Louth again just trying to find players, move it up towards the 45. Eilish Hand is their full-back, and she sends it across in the direction of Rachel Burt, but Rachel will leave it off for Quiva Boyle, playing in Shannon McLaughlin's position today, and this is Aoife Halligan, the far side of the field, with a kick down and towards the attack, looking for Lauren Boyle, and the ball just gets away from Lauren Boyle, and no, it didn't go wide again. That's 2 times in this game we're getting ready to mark down wides, but one each, but not to be, and Kildare will move it out again at their own pace. Lauren Burkworth, number 2, she's giving it away to Laura Collins. Laura Collins with a kick inside, looking for Lauren Boyle or even Anya Breen. Lauren Boyle has the ball, can she get it? Leisha Linehan staying very, very tight with her there, but Lauren Boyle holds on to the ball, and Leisha Linehan, the fullback for Kildare, illegally, says the referee, and it's going to be a free in for Louth. But Tommy, even looking at Louth there as well, and we talked about Kate Flood and her experience, but like Laura Collins 3:13 in the championship, Lauren Boyle 3:11 in the championship, they're the 2 key players that Louth are going to want to supply possession with as much as possible.
Absolutely, and they need to get the ball in quick. That's what happened that time. They got quick. They made 2 or 3 attempts at that foot pass into the corner, and eventually it came off in the end. Thought Leisha Lenihan was a little bit hard done by there. I thought it was actually good defence by Kildare, but they are going to have to get that ball quickly in Louth, because Kildare, they will bring players back to try choke that good ball into the corner, but listen, Louth have a free, and they give a chance to get the game back to 2 points, which isn't too bad.
Kildare just have a player down receiving attention there at the moment, so we'll just have a hold up for a couple of minutes. 13 minutes gone in this game. I think Louth are going to be allowed to get on with the free. The referee just telling one of the water carriers to get off the pitch, and we get ready to see this free being taken by, it looked like Lauren Boyle, that goes to the right and wide, but at the moment there, I wasn't quite too sure where that ball was.
Mary Holgrain was a little bit worried there, but she seemed like she had it covered. She'll tell you she had it covered.
It was 1-5 to 7 points when these teams met in Louth's favour back on the 19th of February. Kildare did beat Louth by 3-15 to 10 points in the Leinster Football Championship semi-final back last month. Claire Sullivan with the ball out inside the 65-metre line, going to move it down the left. Lauren Murta getting well involved in the play there too, back across to Grace Clifford, and Grace, the fulcrum of the attacks, gives it out to Claire Sullivan. Claire Sullivan inside the 45-metre line. There's a bit of space here for Kildare. She has the pace. The hand came out there, no arguments about that. Dragged to the ground. Kildare will get an opportunity for a free, and you would just feel this is Roisin Byrne. She missed the last one. I don't think she's going to miss this one.
Well, don't jinx her just yet. That's what Claire Sullivan does. What Claire does so well is she picks the ball up like that, and she drives at the fence. She absolutely drives with it. She has that bit of pace as well, and she did very well to win that free there.
Roisin Byrne getting ready to take the free. Can she put 4 points between the teams? The free for Kildare. Louth resigned to their fate. The umpire goes for the white flag. 15 minutes gone. It's 5 points to 1.
Another goal for Roisin, but again, the girls know as well, if they can win these frees, there's a good chance Roisin is going to put them over, so they need to start driving at the defence of that. Louth are going to have to do something similar, up top as well, because they have got a couple of frees now, Louth, but they know they need to break through that half-back line of Kildare that's doing very well so far.
Louth just finds it hard at times to work it up towards the 45-metre line. They've gotten it there now through Emer Murray, and Emer Murray with Lauren Murta just getting in the way, gives it back to Shoda Matthews, and Shoda decides to come inside, looks for the pass in the direction of Quiva Boyle. Quiva leaves it for Anya Breen, and the captain goes in the move again with the blue boots. The pass to the Niamh Rice. Niamh Rice with a kick inside, and looking again for Lauren Boyle, but well read by Aoife Clifford on that occasion. Kildare have identified the threats on this Louth team and are always very, very close to Boyle or Collins. Lauren Murta with the ball in the 45-metre line, gives it to Grace Clifford. Grace finds the teammate Ruth Sargent out to the right, out towards Ellen Dowling, and Ellen Dowling happy enough now to soul the ball between the 65-metre line. 2 Louth players around her. Where's the spare player? Finds the spare player. Ruth Sargent back to Nessa Dooley, and Nessa Dooley referee now just looking up at a kick into space. This is one rehearsed in the training ground. Ellen Dowling, can she find someone inside? She might go herself, or she might take Nessa. Gives the pass off. 3 players involved. The Lara Kern was the other, but this is Nessa Dooley. Nessa Dooley coming in on the right. Good block on the occasion by Aoife Russell. That will go out for a 45.
Nessa, in fairness, Nessa in those positions, she does fancy herself from a lot of awkward positions. Got 45 that time, maybe recycling the ball would have been a better option, but again, we know what Nessa can do from either side, either foot.
If you're not familiar with the rules of ladies football, it's 2 points for a 45. I don't see Roisin Byrne coming out to take this. Going to leave it for Trina Duggan, so maybe they're not going to go for the direct shot at the post. And indeed, exactly the way Kildare go backwards to start off another attack, but they don't want to be careless either. Trina Duggan takes the ball again outside the 45-metre line, being marked by Aoife Halligan. There's a Rattigan and a Halligan, we're number 9 for their respective teams. Larry Gilbert with a kick down in towards the corner, and again, hands were out by the Loud player. Once the player digging the ball, Rachel Bird couldn't concede the free, and it's going to be an opportunity. Well, Ellen Dowling has the ball in her hand, just waits for a moment to see if Roisin fancies it, but not to be. Ellen Dowling is going to take this free herself. I have to say, Tommy, if this was the men's game, it would have been an excellent mark.
Oh, you said it's actually after happened a couple of times with Kildare. They would have been a fantastic mark. Ellen was always going to take this. She's very good left foot. With the Kildare team now a good few years, had a cultured left foot, you could say.
She's 2-7 scored in the championship so far. That was coming in today. Ellen Dowling with it. It's going to be close. It's going over the bar. You can hear the Kildare supporters. They love that kick. 17 minutes gone. It's 6 points to 1.
Again, an absolutely super kick there. Kildare, they're just, keep the scoreboard ticking over, but Louth really needs something. They really need to start getting those breaks in the middle. But even when they do, the quality of ball needs to be better going in forward. Aoife Clifford at the back is doing a fantastic job up there in the Kildare cornerback. She's sweeping up a lot of that ball that Louth are sending in.
Yeah, and Kildare just seem to be dealing with everything at the pace they want to deal with it so far, but it's defensively cutting out the supply into the dangerous forwards, or gradually working the ball up the field. Diana Hoare will be very, very happy how this is panning out in the early stages. 6 points to 1. Claire Sullivan sending it out towards the left, and Lara Kern was there as well, and Kildare have it back now to Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne looking for options. The option comes from Aoife Rattigan. Aoife Rattigan has scored in the game so far. Ruth Sargent there orchestrating attacks as well. Lara Gilbert to Ellen Dowling. Ellen Dowling trying to see could you get a bit of space, and well done there by Niamh Rice for Louth to win the ball back. Louth could do with getting the score. They haven't scored since the 3rd minute. The point by Kate Flood. The referee says the hands were on Kate Flood there at the occasion, so it's going to be a free for Louth on the 65-metre line. Niamh Rice with possession goes for the long drive down towards the corner. This one might work out. The referee says it was a foul inside, so somebody must have been holding back Lauren Boyle, so we're going to have the free in for Louth, and simply, Tommy, for Kit Henry and his team, they'll just want to put this over the bar and try and get going again.
This has to go over. I mean, you can see Louth now, we're trying to get that really, really fast ball into the forward line, because a lot of ball is breaking down when they try to pass it around in the half forward line. Again, I didn't see much of a foul there, but my eyesight wouldn't be fantastic.
Well, it's been left there for Laura Collins to take the free on this occasion. So Laura Collins wearing number 15, Louth's top scorer this year. Can she get her first of the day and get Louth up and running in this match? Remember, Louth have to win. It's that simple. The kick from Laura Collins. The umpires look at each other. They like it. The ball has gone over the bar. 19 minutes gone. 6-2.
Yeah, that'll settle Laura Collins now as well. Like, has been starved of possession, but we know her quality. She's got a little team of the league this year as well. She was absolutely fantastic, but she needs to get better ball into her.
That's what Louth will be aiming to do, to get the ball inside to those 2 dangerous players and see what they can do. Kate Flood there just went to ground. I think the referees held it up for a potential head injury, so we're going to have a hold up and play in the 45 inside the 45-metre line. And of course, the heavy rain came there at the start. The sun is out again. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. We're only talking about the game. An opportunity for water to get on for the players.
Yeah, and the thing about this pitch here in Hawkfield, especially this pitch one, is the grass. It's always in fantastic condition, but sometimes when the pitch is in too good condition, a bit of water comes down on it, very greasy. You see with Kildare, a lot of the balls are going forward. It's skipping off the surface. It's going past players. So we'll see how we get on now in a few more minutes.
Yeah, we've seen. So what you got to, we're just the hold up and play there for the moment.
Yeah, it's Kate Flood as well. You'd be hoping now with Kate is obviously one of Louth's Alice players as well. They really, really need her to be okay. She's been on a lot of ball, but we know what she can do.
So we're just waiting to see. Hopefully Kate Flood is okay. and which colour we'll be ready to get up and running again. Of course, Kildare in the situation where we're just talking there, Tommy, about they'll be happy how this has panned out. Of course, they have to lose the game by at least 8 points to have any threat, and I think it'll be 9 if they add another 1 or 2 white flags to this tally as well. So completely in control of their destiny here, and more than likely are going to advance with a home quarter-final.
They are, but they don't want to lose this game. Like if you look at Diana O'Hora, Diana's a very driven character. She will not accept anything other than 100% here tonight and a win. That's exactly what they know. What they have to do is a win or a draw. She wants to win, and she wants to look forward to the next game. Last year was very disappointing for Kildare. They won the Leinster Championship. There was a lot of talk about the team. Suddenly, then when the All Ireland series happened, Longford beat us in Newbridge, Roscommon beat us over there, and Kildare are gone.
Yeah, I was actually doing the game in Newbridge that day against Longford too, and we were surprised because Kildare came in as raging hot favourites, but probably never give themselves a proper break between Leinster Championship and the start with a couple of club matches as well, which didn't help their cause on that occasion. But they seem to have everything mapped out properly this year. So far, of course, it is still a lot of football to be played.
Exactly. They had a goal this year as well, and we hear that after the league final, which was a fantastic win, and then the Leinster final as well. Their goal is to get that intermediate championship.
Well, they're two down out of 3 of a potential triple crown. They are league champions. They'll play Division 2 football next year. And, of course, Leinster champions for the second year in a row and looking good to make a quarter-final. But, of course, we're not getting carried away. There's only 22 minutes gone in the first half. And Louth very much in this game and proved in the league that they can turn this around if they can get settled into the game. Trina Duggan, we'll talk about Louth in a few minutes. Trina Duggan sends it down into the direction of Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne down the right trying to suck in Cueva Boyle. Sends a low ball inside. This is good. There the return pass, so maybe not as good, but Roisin Byrne shows her skills to get possession back. Ruth Sargent has pushed up the fields, hasn't been that far up so far, but did enough to win the free, and Kildare will get an opportunity outside the D. And just while they're doing that, Tommy, will keep an eye. Of course, we're talking about Louth, like 4 wins out of 4 when they won that league match. They were going well. They were still only 3 points outside of a league final spot as well, but the form they haven't seemed to manage to get it right this year. They have had a couple of injuries, admittedly, but even still, 7 losses out of 8. We wouldn't have expected that day when we left here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've come up against some good teams, but in fairness, they will be extremely disappointed. And as you say, even on the final day of the season as well, or coming up to the final days, they were still in with a shot. It goes to show you how close that Division 3 was. But very disappointing second half of the league and going into the championship as well. 1 win over Wicklow since they beat Kildare here back in February. They're not going to be happy with that, but they still have a chance to get that 3rd intermediate quarter final in a row.
Yeah, that, of course it can still happen for them too, because 1 goal can change the whole complexion of this game. There's only 4 points between them, 23 minutes gone. Kildare 6 points, Louth 2, and Louth with the ball again through Aoife Halligan to show the Matthews and Oliver Plunkett's down in the direction. I was going to say Niamh Rice, but it was Kate Flood that got the touch, but Kildare were reading them well. Claire Sullivan takes the break, and Roisin Byrne now will bring it up the field towards the 65-metre line, or the 265-metre lines, and this is good in Kildare, and this is probably the difference between the teams, the way Kildare have been able to turn over Louth attacks and get a score at the other end. Nessa Dooley with possession, scored 6 goals in the championship so far, lays the ball off. Now it comes out to the right to Ellen Dowling with the white boots. Ellen Dowling, the kick inside, it probably should have gone for the score. That's a disappointing wide for Kildare. Of course, Roisin Byrne missed a free just beforehand. Sometimes you probably just need to take the simple option.
Yeah, it was a nice little idea, and you could see the run again. That could easily be something from the training ground. It is very notable as well that how deep Trina Duggan is coming out. She's playing very, very far out from full forward line. She's obviously after swapping, but she's looking to break down any loud attack. If Kildare do lose the ball, Trina Duggan is the one that's out here. We can see her in between 45, and she's covering a lot of ground already.
Louth moving up towards the 45-metre line. Aoife Halligan involved in the attack. That's Aoife Russell, number 13 on your screen. And out the far side to Ailish Hand. Ailish Hand moves up towards the middle of the field again. The advantage for a foul on her play continues on. The referee says the advantage is gone. The pass across towards Laura Collins doesn't materialise, but Louth might be able to hold it. Kildare getting bodies in the way to get Hawkwood, and this is what Louth have been doing a bit in this match, is just giving away cheap possession at times. Laura Collins with the kick out towards the left to Mia Duffy. Mia Duffy moving up towards the 45-metre line, the pass inside, and it's those 50-50s have been well read by Kildare. Lauren Burke did the work, excellently won the ball, but Tommy, we have to go back to Louth just making hard work of some of the simple passes, and that is ultimately the difference between these two teams.
Yeah, exactly. And Mia Duffy has actually had a lot of space out here for the last 10 or 15 minutes. She's been screaming for the ball, but when she gets the ball as well, her pass has to be good. You can't pop passes up in the middle of 2 defenders, especially when you have likes of Lauren Burke coming in.
Well, the Kildare defenders are certainly winning the 50-50 balls against the Louth forwards in the early stage of the game, and they'll move it out the field through Lauren Burke there on your screen. Good block down there on that occasion by Mia Duffy, determined to get involved involved in the action, as Tommy said there. Ruth Sargent has the ball back in her own full back line, covering everywhere between the opposing 65 and her own goal, and the ball goes out the far side of the field. And Kildare using the width of here in Hawkfield and the Manguard plus Kildare centre of excellence to let Lara Kern go on the move. Lara Kern inside the 45 metre line, the kick inside for Roisin Byrne if she can keep that in play. Will Roisin try and come inside? Will she use support? Roisin Byrne on the edge of the D gives a pass towards Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan lays it off, and this is a kick at the post for Kildare, just not to be for Roisin on that occasion. Kildare have had 5 wides in this match. You know, they'll be a bit concerned about that.
Roisin will be disappointed with that as well. That was a very well worked move again. You know, Lara Kern started it off working from the corner into a position where Roisin would expect to be putting that over. She will be disappointed as well, but hopefully, you know, she can work on it.
Ailish Hand had the ball there, but they've given it away again, and Lara Kern will have another go. That's Lara Kern that's taken the ball, and it goes for a kick at the post, and that's across the field. And I suppose, look, in one way, the theme of the game has continued consistent since the start of the match, but what was building up for an exciting opening 10 minutes, it's gone a bit flat. Some mistakes from both teams. Kildare is certainly getting the chances, and you would feel they should be out of sight. It's given Louth a bit of hope. I think we're going to have a substitutionary, but it's given Louth a bit of hope because they haven't settled into this game yet.
No, they haven't, and they're not helping themselves coming out of defence either. I mean, the one thing about Louth in their last couple of games as well, Rebecca Lamb-Fagan in goals, the accuracy of her kickouts, and she gets good distance as well. And you know, she is hitting her players, and she's getting good accurate kickouts, but they seem to be losing the ball in contact. As soon as there's any kind of contact with the Kildare forwards, they're losing the ball's on the ground, and Kildare is suddenly breaking. Kildare will be disappointed with these wides, but they'll be happy the ball's up this end of the field.
And that's exactly where they want to keep it over the course of the game. They have a good swing in their favour to ensure a place in the quarter-finals. I think Kildare would have to lose this match by 4 points in order to lose the home quarter-final. But of course, if they were to lose by another 4 points, they could be out of the championship collision between the two players. And the referee says it's allowed free. Don't think there's any complaints on that one. Niamh Rice, the player that went to ground, it's allowed. Just need to try and see, can they get a bit of patience? But Kildare not pulling as many players back as Louth would. They have 12 behind the 65 at the moment. That's all they appear to need. Anya Breen works her way towards the 45 metre line, needs some support, and Louth have been pushed back towards the line behind that again. Niamh Rice, who won the free, and again there's a player out on the left if they use her. That's Rachel Burt. She's been busy. Rachel Burt outside the 45 metre line. Can she find the space inside? Just took a bit too much out of the ball, and there was Ellen Dowling to win possession, to win the free. And Kildare have just been hungry and ruthless in getting their hands on even a tease of possession. Trina Duggan gets past the Louth 65 metre line. We look at the clock, there's just over 2 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. We don't have a countdown clock. We have had 2 major stops in the game. I'd imagine we might have 3 minutes on top of that 30, but Kevin Corcoran, the Mayo official who's blown the whistle to say Louth is a free, he'll make that call. And Louth, can they just try and get another score, bring this back to one kick of the ball? Then they won't be as too despondent or disappointed with their opening 30 minutes if they can stay within 3 points of Kildare. Lucy White, the far side of the field, trying to come inside, surrounded by white jerseys, 3 of them getting in the way, and she gives it back to Shoda Matthews. Shoda Matthews looking around for options. She's pushed down the corner. She'd do well to make damage from there, but if she this falls for Lauren Boyle, anything can happen, or even Kate Flood. She wears number 11. It's not. It's Leisha Linehan who wins the ball for Kildare, and Kildare will move it out the field again through Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford now up towards the 45 metre line, and Kildare just in the counter attack, very good with this. Grace Clifford again with possession. Lara Kern there to help her out, and now waiting for the bodies to come up. That was just left hanging a little bit, but Ruth Sargent was always in control of that, and she'll solo it up of the field a bit. So Ruth Sargent, the centre back for Kildare, looking around to see who's there. Louth getting 13 players back now behind the 65 metre line. Ellen Dowling to Trina Duggan. Trina Duggan back to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford with the hand pass forward. This is good from Kildare. Grace Clifford is on the 45 metre line, using players to the left and the right. Lara Gilbert outside the 45 gives it across to Aoife Radigan. Aoife Radigan, Kildare are working this very well. If this finishes up in a score, and the kick at the post for Kildare, not to be. It didn't have the end product, but for a moment there was like watching Barcelona with hands. They were just moving it around the place to get the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. It is, as you said, like Barcelona with hands, but the Anna Hora won't want to hear that. You know, they need scores. To play before that, where Louth end up just taking a kind of a pot shot because there were no other options on. Kildare give up very cheap possession in the middle of the field. They could have held on to the ball for a couple of seconds until they gathered themselves. A silly outside of the boot pass across the middle, and suddenly Louth are breaking, but Louth are not taking their chances.
I think Louth are just hoping that one of those pays off, and even that bounce in that occasion, while well won by Leisha Linehan, Kate Flood, Lauren Boyle weren't too far away from it, and if they can get one of those right, they're very much much in this game. As much as we spend the opening 30 minutes talking about Kildare and how much control they are in this contest, there's still just a 4-point ball game here. It's 6 points to Kildare, 2 points to Louth. You can see the Louth dugout there on our screen as you get ready to restart the action, and Lucy White will send it back and Louth will go again. You just get the feeling, Tommy, that the next score in this game, as early in the match as it is going to be critically important, especially if it's a loud score, because 3 or 4 point ball game changes the whole complexion of everyone's thoughts for the halftime team talk.
Of course it does, absolutely. As you say, Louth haven't scored too many goals this year, but they have Kate Flood in full forward. If she can just keep this in, it's gone out for a 45. But again, Kate is fantastic. Is a fantastic target in there. She's so good in the air. As you say, it just takes one of these to come off, and she will put that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, and she wasn't too far away with the point that she got at the start of the game. Niamh Rice sending it down in the direction of Kate Flood. It took a deflection off a Kildare hand, whether initially or down near the line, but Louth will get a chance for a 45. And Anya Breen now, a big decision to make here. Needs to find someone in space, needs a bit of wit as well, but to get it inside, get the score. We've played 31 minutes and 20 seconds here in Manguard Plus. Yeah, Kildare Centre of Excellence. Kildare 6 points, Louth 2, and Anya Breen getting ready to take this now, and we're having to hold up there again. Just having a look to see what the delay is there. I think was there a change being planned there? I haven't seen a player come on now, I have to say, so we're going to go back and watch. Will she have a go for it? It's 2 points if she goes for it. She's going to kick it in very, very close. That's going to come to the Kildare goalkeeper. Well, just about, because Laura Collins was there as well, and Louth trying to win possession, and the referee says a foot went in. It's a Kildare free help, and Louth are getting it gradually a bit closer.
They really are, and it'll give them encouragement. And again, that ball could have went anywhere. It was a really good 45 in, and as you said, they're 2 points if that does go over the bar. But even a ball dropping into the square like that, Mary came out, the ball just went a little bit loose, could have went anywhere.
Roisin Byrne with possession in the middle of the field. 2 minutes of injury time have been played. We did reckon we'd have 3 or 4. So Kildare will go now. Can Kildare punish Louth for those few misses now and get a score that will really hurt the wee county? Not if they kick balls like that. Aoife Russell should be able to hold on to that. She's hoping it goes out over the line, and that's good game awareness there from Aoife Russell. Let it go. Make sure we have possession if you're a Louth person with the kick out. Rebecca Lamfagan is the goalkeeper for Louth, and she will restart the action. How much more time I think Kevin Corcoran is going to call for the ball? So he's just telling Erdogan, no, he does blow the half-time whistle, and a half-time where it's fair to say Kildare have dominated, but only lead by 4 points. Tommy O'Connell, your overall assessment of the first half?
If Kildare have absolutely dominated, but 4 points, Diana Hoare is not going to be happy. She wants to get those girls now into the dressing room. There's been a lot of sloppy ball given away. The wides, a couple of from difficult angles, but it's the over-kicking the pass going in. There's a little bit of panic. As I said, that pitch is greasy. It is bouncing away. Louth are just staying doing what they're doing. Louth are giving up far too much possession. They know that themselves, but they have settled into it. In the last 10 minutes into the first half, they've got a little bit more possession. If things could have went differently up there, they could be right back in this game. It's only 4 points. You have 4 points, and there's only 2 kicks of a ball in football. You never know what can happen in the second half. But Louth won't be too disappointed being only 4 behind after all Kildare's dominance. Kildare will not be happy.
It was a low-scoring game in the league. It's still low-scoring here, but a goal could change everything. A Louth goal makes this match very interesting, though. Up in Leitrim, they'll be hoping the green flag goes in the way of the team in white. We're going to take a break for about 5-10 minutes. We've highlights of the first half of this match coming up. It's Kildare in front by 4 points, but a lot of football to be played, and Louth not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. The half-time score here in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. Kildare in front by 4. It's Kildare 6 points, Louth 2. Points, but they will try and win it and bring us back here, or maybe somewhere else. But that's an opportunity for Kate Flood with a shot, and Kate Flood puts the ball past forward for Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford, the captain, sends it inside, and this is another opportunity for Kildare for Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne with the kick. Ruth one's down. Roisin Byrne with the free. The ball goes over the bar. 8 minutes. Ruth Sargent turning inside, gives it to Aoife Rattigan. Aoife Rattigan has the space for the shot, and Aoife Rattigan puts the ball over the bar. They're loudly signed to their fate. The umpire goes for the white flag. 15 minutes gone. It's 5 points. It's coming in today. Ellen Dowling with it. It's going to be close. It's going over the bar. You have to win. It's that simple. The kick from Laura Collins. The umpires look at each other. They like it. The ball. Good afternoon, thank you very much, and welcome back here to Hawkfield to the Vanguard Plus Kildare Centre of Excellence. Is half-time in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. Kildare 6 points, Louth 2. Kildare on course to have a home quarter-final in this competition. Louth on course to go out of the competition, with Leitrim taking the other spot. Tommy O'Connell, we're here. We were wondering what the reaction will be in the Kildare dressing room at half-time. Well, Kildare are back out, they're ready to go. We'll have a look around and see is there any changes in the moment. No sign of Louth yet, no doubt they've an awful lot to talk about.
They do, absolutely, and they have a big half ahead of them. I do see Grania Keneally on the field for Kildare. I can't see who she's in for just yet, but we'll figure that out. But Grania, a very experienced player, and always a good option to bring off the bench. Diane's obviously after recognising something to get a substitution in at half time. Louth are still in the dressing room. They have a huge half. As I said at the very start of the game, this is knockout football for Louth. They have to win. They have to come out with something. So I'm expecting a couple of their big players to step up in the second half. But Kildare need to push on as well. Hanging around. This 4-point lead is nothing for all their dominance in the first half.
And of course, for Louth people watching us here around the world, or even at home in the county too as well, the reality is, while Louth are underdogs in this game, they have not played as well as we've seen them play over the course of the year too. We do notice more in this Louth performance, while for Kildare, as Louth come back in the field, you would fear for Kildare those 7 wides, especially some in the second quarter, could come back to bite them.
Absolutely, and we know what can happen. We know how good Laura Collins is, and in fairness to Aoife Clifford, she's done a fantastic job in her there in the corner, and they have doubled up. They recognise the danger of Laura up front. Kildare have, but just the good quality ball from Louth. It was a little bit missing at the start of the first half, but they did grow into the game, and they got a lot of possession. Kildare got a little frustrated, overkicking some of their passes. I'm sure Diane's after giving out to them now at half time, so we'll see how we get on.
Kate Henry, no doubt, similar enough with Louth there as well. This is a big 30 minutes ahead for the team in red. It is for the team in white as well, and also for those watching us from County Leitrim. The ball is thrown in. The second half is underway. Louth attacking the goal to the right. No wind of note here. The sun might be a factor in this match, but Louth go to launch a long ball inside, and the Kildare defence have just been cleaning up. Leisha Lenihan was on that occasion, but you could take your pick of the back six from Kildare to have stepped up for long balls over the course of the 30 minutes so far. Grania Keneally, as Tommy mentioned, on the field of play and helping launch an attack down the left. Grania Keneally, this is her 5th appearance of the championship so far. She has scored 2 goals. Lara Kern working away inside, trying to finish this off for Kildare in the opening minute of the second half. The referee says too many steps, and it's going to be a free out for Louth.
Good defence for Louth, really good defence for Louth, and that'll be positive as well. I see with Grania Keneally now, I don't see Aoife Rattigan on the field, so it seems like Claire Sullivan's actually after going into midfield, and Grania Keneally's going playing the half forward line.
So we reckon that Aoife Rattigan has gone off the field for Grania Keneally, her 5th appearance off the bench in the championship so far, but as we just mentioned there, she could be the player that gets that goal that wraps this up for Kildare. Louth up in the tempo so far. The tempo was good at the start of the first half as well, it has to be said. And for those of you joining us late here in the LGFA streaming service, just to give you the permutations again, quite simply, if Kildare win or draw this match or lose by less than 8 points, they will be into the quarterfinals of the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. The winner or draw will guarantee a home game. Louth must win, simple as that. Leitrim, the team waiting to see what their fate will be. Claire Sullivan has the ball for Kildare, being pushed out to the corner. Rachel Burt keeping her out tight, but she gives the kick back to Lara Kern. Her second possession of the second half, has the ball back to Claire again. A bit of a 1-2 between the 10 and 15. The referee said spotted a hand, so I think Kildare have managed to win the free on that occasion. And we have a look around for Roisin Byrne to see what she's going to do, but Roisin is too busy inside having a pushing match, I think, with Mia Duffy off camera at the moment. So Kildare are just going to get on with it. We get Tommy's thoughts on that in a moment. Lauren Murta back to Ruth Sargent, and Ruth Sargent with Grania Keneally there taking possession on the 65-yard line. A bit of aggression, Tommy, from my other team is no harm either.
Now you said it exactly. Louth do need to bring that, and Roisin isn't afraid of aggression either, so that could help spur her on. The angle was a little bit difficult for her down there, so Lara took a quick free instead.
Ellen Dowling has taken a free herself at the other side of the field in the first half and scored. Also Aoife Rattigan with a point in the game. Roisin Byrne with 4 for Kildare. Kate Flood and Laura Collins, the 2 scores for Louth in this match, and Mia Duffy wins the ball back there for the visitors here in Hawkfield. The referee says there's a throw up there, so it's going to be a free in for Kildare, and the first score of the second half going to be very, very important, like we thought the last score of the first half would be, but that didn't happen for either team. Roisin Byrne is going to have a go at this around the 45-metre line, which is going to have a go backwards with it, back to Grania Keneally. and Grania Keneally been very active in the early stages of this second half. Out to Trina Duggan on the left there as well. The angle getting more acute. She needs support. Claire Sullivan is there. Will one of them have a pop? Loud with the players back. I think 13 back in the 45. They do not want to let Kildare stretch out too far. They know a couple of scores and they're very much back in this contest as Ruth Sargent pushes up the field, gives it out to Nessa Dooley. Nessa Dooley with a kick inside, hoping that Ellen Downey can get her hands on that. She did, but there was too much venom in the pass. The ball goes to the right and wide. I think that's 8 wides for Kildare.
Kildare Louth have set up very well in the second half defensively. They're frustrating Kildare. That's 2 or 3 times now Kildare have overkicked the pass, or they got a little bit panicky. They were lucky to get that freed up. I'm surprised Roisin didn't take on just inside the 45, because we know she has the distance, but she went short instead.
As you mentioned there, how Louth have set up and building the structure, but between the heat, Tommy, and what they need to do, how long can they get away with that, do you reckon?
This is it. I mean, maybe Kate Henry had a word with them and just said, let's try close it out for 10 minutes, and here they turned over the ball again. Yeah,
Kildare, the first wheel turnover of the second half so far. Louth guilty of many of them in the first half, and this is Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne down the right there looking for options inside. Rachel Burt is staying very tight with the hand pass inside. Chance here now for Kildare to goal. It's a goal for Kildare, and the ball goes into the back of the net. Lara Kern, the player with the strike, and just when we were talking about how Louth set up, Kildare overturned the ball. Lara Kern gets the goal, and it's not looking good for Louth now.
A lovely little flick pass from Roisin there, and Lara coming off the shoulder again. They work so hard in that in training. You imagine that girl coming off her shoulder, but again here Louth win the kick out, so they really need to get into this game. They need something.
It's 1-6 to 2 points. Well, Louth can't afford to be too defensive for much longer now. They're celebrating in Leitrim, you would feel. Anya Breen with the pass inside. Louth need to respond straight away, get this back to 2, kicks the ball. Next score is critical here in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship, and Louth have to get it. Roisin Maguire has come on the field for the second half. Ball inside for Lauren Boyle. Low shot, great save from Mary Hultgrain. It was nearly the perfect to start a response, I should say, from Louth to the second half, but the Kildare goalkeeper stood up.
Absolutely, Mary. I mean, that's what Mary does. Those point blank saves. That was difficult. That was low and hard as well, down at her feet. It was a good save. It was a fantastic catch inside there as well. She just happened to slip just as the ball went into her hands.
Kildare with the goal, Louth with the miss. How vital will that be? Roisin Maguire, as we mentioned, on the field of play, will confirm who she's on for in just a moment. The Kildare player on the ground there, so we're going to have a chance to take a breath for a couple of moments. Just over 5 minutes gone in the second half. Kildare 1-6, Louth 2 points, and a goal from Lara Kern could be the goal to launch Kildare as a seeded team in the quarterfinals. Tommy, well, as we've watched there the men's preliminary quarterfinals over the course of the weekend, the home advantage is massive. I know 2 of the games went against the home team out of the 3 that were played in the men's one, but for the likes of Kildare too, they'll only be thinking about getting results. But a home quarterfinal, especially for garnering support for the team, generating momentum as well as increasing their chances of making the semi-final, is very important.
Absolutely it is, and it's not like in a provincial championship where you only have everywhere you travel is 30-45 minutes away. You know, there are some big journeys there. You know, there's some journeys up the north, the northwest. Kildare turn it over again.
And you can have Claire Sullivan going forward towards the 45 near her line, but the referee now will just watch what's happening here, because the referee wants to have a chat with Niamh Rice, and Louth's afternoon could be going from bad to worse here, because she did challenge the Kildare forward, committed the foul, and is the referee giving this for the 3 ticks or for the foul in itself? But he's talking to her. Niamh Rice is getting the yellow card, and Louth are down to 14 players, and really now it's going wrong for Louth.
Huge loss, absolutely huge loss. She was doing so well. You know, in fairness, ever since obviously she came in at the start of the game, but she's hoovering up a lot of loose ball in the back now. It's going to be a big loss. I was just going to say, actually, just before the Kildare goal, that Rachel Burt was starting to do a really good job on Roisin Byrne, because Roisin has pushed further in towards the goal. But again, of course, Roisin turned her, played the ball in. Lara Kern has a knack of scoring really important goals for Kildare and turning up at the right spot, and she's done it again. Could be huge.
It was a beautiful kick from Lara Kern right into the roof of the net. No doubt you'll see the highlights of that on through social media later on today and over the course of the next couple of days, as Kildare now know this is their chance to wrap this up. Nessa Dooley has kicked better shots than that in her career in this season alone, coming into this match with 6 goals and 4 points. That goes to the right and wide. Another wide for Kildare, but while the margin is 7 points, they won't worry too much about it.
No, Nessa will be disappointed with that again. That was a good challenge in the middle of the field. But Nessa is 2-footed, which is a fantastic skill to have. And she always fancies herself on the left as much as the right, so she will be disappointed over that.
Shoda Matthews, the player there, they got the good break there, as Tommy mentioned, for Louth, but they've given the ball away again. Kildare are on the move. Louth need to start creating these scores out of these chances, and they are getting chances, it has to be said, but they're giving the ball away to Kildare too quickly. Last time to give one away cheaply, led to the goal. Roisin Byrne in possession, gives it to Grace, back to Roisin Byrne, getting within range, or trying to get within range. She scored 4 points, she set up the goal as well, just runs out of space, but Ruth Sargent, as always, there, waiting for possession. Grace Clifford as well. Claire Sullivan on the move here, gives the pass off for Lara Gilbert. Lara Gilbert just going away from her. Vanessa Dooley will take that as well. Louth getting the bodies in. The referee's bottled the pull. It's going to be a free in for Kildare. I was just thinking there, Tommy, you'll be picking the player of the match later on. You'll be doing well to decide which player it's going to be, because so many are stepping up at different times here to just apply more pressure on the Louth defence.
Absolutely, as when Kildare, if Kildare do lose the ball and Louth turn it over, Kildare add that extra bit of aggression. Then if the ball's on the ground, Kildare win a lot of 50-50 balls as well, which is good. And again, Diane will be happy on the line with that. You see Gráinne Keneally coming in, a very aggressive player. She is winning a lot of those breaking balls. Nessa Dooley winning that free there, aggression. That's what she brought again to win that free.
It was a ball that you fed Louth should have gotten control of, but they didn't. Roisin Byrne, we look at the clock, 9 minutes gone in the second half, and this is a chance to put 8 points between them. That's going to turn in for Roisin, and Roisin puts the ball over the bar, and Kildare are starting to stretch their margin.
They are. Again, they need to keep the scoreboard ticking over. From a Louth point of view, Louth need to... We've been saying the whole game is their own mistakes coming out from the half-back line. What they did is they were bypassing a lot of that ball in the first half and playing some long ball up the field. But as we can see, there are no Louth players up the field to receive that ball if it does go up. Yeah,
there's a gap there in the middle. You just can't see on the camera at the moment. You might see it in a bit. But Louth need to have a player there. They need to take the risk to see if they can get a ball out inside. Yes, they have to have the structure and stop the Kildare attack. But they're playing with a player down at the moment. Can they limit the damage up to the three-quarter mark where roughly Niamh Rice will return to the field of play? Or can Kildare wrap this up? Ellen Dowling with possession. You can see 4 Louth jerseys there. They did well, and was Aoife Halligan the player that wins the ball, and it's going to be a free out for Louth, but a point will come. They have to stick or twist. We have seen many times, if you're a Louth supporter, 8-point margins in second halves, 10-point margins in a final quarter that happened in the All-Ireland final 9 years ago. Louth can still turn this around. They won't give up yet. They just need to make sure that they don't concede much with the player down as they push forward to Anya Breen. Anya Breen gets inside the 45-metre line, sends the ball into space. I don't think they're going to win that one, and not to be, because was it Lara Gilbert? Oh, the player just caught her afterwards. There's a collision there, and that'll be a hold up in play. But again, there's a loose ball like that, and now just need to make these passes simple. In fairness to Anya Breen, she had no real option. She had to take the risk, and it was at Larry Gilbert, the player that got caught there. But either way, which colours, it's going to be free out for Kildare, and somebody have a free out. Grace Clifford will restart the action. We're having a change here. Nessa Dooley is going off the field to play. Change for Kildare. Haven't quite worked out the Louth substitution at half time yet, but Nessa Dooley has gone off, Tommy, and you'll confirm in a moment the player that's come on.
I'd say it is probably Ciara Price. Ciara played a lot in the league as well, started a lot of games, Sarsfields, scored a good few goals as well.
Ciara Price, yes indeed, another great option on the big bench. She has a goal in the championship so far, her 5th appearance of the season. Grace Clifford, of the championship I should say. Grace Clifford, there are 2 players involved, Aoife Clifford and Claire Sullivan involved, and that's Roisin Byrne. This is a good move from Kildare, and again it's the Louth player just holding her ground and wins the free. The Kildare player is on, so Louth can counter-attack as well, as there's just a hold up in play, but we'll be good to go in just a moment. Lara Gilbert, I think, again in the wars there on that occasion, but she's okay, and she's back on her feet there as well. Two big moments there for Lara Gilbert in the last couple of minutes.
In fairness, she's tough, and she isn't aggressive. She loves going into that contact as well, and she's been absolutely fantastic today at half back.
Louth keeping their discipline there to take that overturn with the free, and now Mia Duffy will bring it up the field, gives it to Aoife Halligan, and Aoife Halligan to Holly Lamb Sally. She came on at half time as well, so 2 changes for Louth that we have to fully confirm. Roisin Maguire and Holly Lamb Sally, the players that are on the field to play. So there's a lot going on here at the moment regards substitutions and changes. Anya Breen with possession. Louth just want to get a score. They trail by 8 points in this TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship game. Emer Murray to Holly Lamb Sally. Holly Lamb has the advantage, can't go forward, so it's going to be a free for Louth, and Laura Collins is running into position very, very quickly. Does she fancy having a go at this? She's going to think about this. Lauren Boyle is inside. And one player I haven't spotted is Kate Flood. But we'll watch this attack here first. And this is important. They have to get something out of this, even if it's just a point. They keep it in play. It's done well to keep it in play, did Roisin Maguire, but not to be, didn't find a teammate. And Trina Duggan sends it out towards Claire Sullivan, and Claire will bring it up the field. And Tommy, just looking around there, I think Kate Flood is one of our missing players.
I haven't seen Kate actually in the last few minutes. I was looking around for her. I think she's standing over on the sideline in front of the signpost, but I don't know. I didn't see her being taken off. Again, that free kick again, it was pure danger. Mary Hulgrain actually was hoping it would go over the end line, kept very well by Louth. They just didn't get the break again. Yeah,
it's just a big call for Louth there if that's the change that's been made, but we can tell you they have 2 players on. We're working out who they are at the moment. We're away from the announcers half-time substitutions. We're often a challenge, but we'll watch the action here as Roisin Byrne holds the ball for Kildare as we come up towards the 44-minute mark of this match. Just over 16 minutes of normal time for Kildare to get this job done and send themselves, what's looking like Leitrim, into the quarterfinals of the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. Kildare winning another free. And we've just seen Roisin Byrne. Will she be walking out to take this? Or will Ellen Downey know Roisin Byrne is coming up towards it? And there's going to be a free in for Kildare anyway, and a chance to stretch the lead. Roisin sending one inside. Laura Merton involved there as well, but this is Ellen Dowling. Referee says too many steps against the Kildare forward. Going to be a free out for Louth.
Yeah, in fairness now, Louth as well. They really have defended well in this half, but like they haven't scored yet in this half, and they're going up. That last attack up there must have just sapped the life out of them because they did so well to win the free and a high ball in. You know, I just think Louth need to start pushing more players up the field. They need more runners. Anya in the middle, in fairness to her, Anya Breen is trying so hard every time she gets the ball. She doesn't have too many options. The options aren't there coming off the shoulder.
No, indeed not. And there is a gap there that we can see here at the field, the middle of the park, where Louth just have to take that risk. And definitely when Niamh Rice comes back in the field to play, they're going to have to take that risk and see, can they get something out of it? Because just getting the ball up that far is proving a challenge at times. Yes, they have to get the bodies back to try and stop the Kildare attacks, but eventually you have to get scores if you're going to win football matches. And that's the challenge here in front of Louth at the moment as they move up the field through their captain, Anya Breen. But Anya Breen just allowed Roisin Byrne to get a little touch. Grace Clifford there as well, but she did well to find Aoife Russell, and Aoife Russell to Laura Collins, and Laura Collins sending it out the far side of the field, and Mia Duffy with a kick in towards the attack. And this is going to be the opportunity that Louth have been waiting for as we approach the final quarter. Indeed, we're in the final quarter. A kick at Kate Flood, so Kate Flood's not the player that's gone off the field. My apologies. Fantastic kick. My apologies. I just hadn't seen her for a bit, but the ball has gone over the bar. Maybe it was a blood sub, maybe not. Kate Flood gets the point. 1-7-3.
I think she was off. It could have been a blood sub as well. That was a fantastic score. We know that's what she can do. No, she is absolutely phenomenal athlete. Can kick points from anywhere. Louth need to get the ball to their danger players. They absolutely need to do that, and they need to start winning a few of these kick-outs.
Well, I think you can understand at home. I was surprised when I thought she had gone off the field to play, because there's 2 wonderful points she's kicked in this game, but it gets it back to 7 points. We're inside the final quarter, and Louth definitely need another one before deciding exactly what to do. They've held their own, it has to be said, with Niamh Rice off the field to play. 1 each, of course. Niamh Rice will be on again very, very shortly. It's a 10-minute sin bin, but of course that's the 10 minutes that the referee is counting. We don't get to see that here, so it could be another couple of minutes before Niamh Rice gets back on the field to play. Can Louth hold out before they really have to put the head down and try and go for this. Kildare with the ball in the middle of the field. I think you might be able to see 5 players. You can definitely see 3 Kildare players on your screen at the moment, and they move it forward for Claire Sullivan, and Claire Sullivan sent it back as well. And Kildare won't be playing keepy uppies with the ball just yet, but they're in absolutely no rush, and why should they, to speed this game up? They are exactly where they want to be, and they have to concede an 11-point swing to lose out their home quarter final in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. Aoife Clifford to Grace to Leisha Linehan. Leisha Linehan has the player to the left, and that's Lauren Murta back to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford with the pass forward to Leisha Linehan. Very rare the Kildare captain gives a loose pass, but Joda Matthews wins it back for Louth, moving up the fields. Can she find support? The problem is there wasn't enough support there. She was trying to pick out Kate Flood, but Kildare have overturned the ball, and Lara Kern sends it down in the direction of Ciara Price. Ciara Price, remember her scoring 2 goals against Longford here in the league earlier in the season. She's moving down the right hand side of the field, surrounded by 3 jerseys, and Louth take the ball back again. A set bit of urgency starting to get into the Louth game as we just over 12 minutes of normal time remaining. Emer Murray the far side of the field along with Ailish Han. The referee says the charge again, it goes against Louth on this occasion, and it's going to be a Kildare ball, and I'm just keeping an eye out there to see are Louth going to get restored to 15 players. But you can see there's a Kildare player, there's 2 Kildare players on the ground actually. Ciara Price is down off screen, and you can see there right in front another player just down at the moment, and we're just going over to see Ciara Price there as well. So just a hold up and play. I'm just doing a count of red jerseys here, Tommy, to see to Louth of the 15 yet.
Yeah, I was doing the same myself. I was just looking at that injuries. In fairness to the referee as well, he is consistent with the charge from that last feed he came in. But Ciara Price up here in the corner dropped down like a stone after that last. Wasn't much in it, so you'd be worried about her injury. So we're just trying to count out the Louth players now to see are they back to the full complement. I
think they have the 15 out there now. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not counting water carriers in the process as well. I think they are, but whether it's Niamh Rice that's come back on the field to play, I'm not too sure. Tommy, you're just doing a count there as well to double check.
I think they have 15 on, and in fairness, you're right with the water carriers. There's a lot of red bibs out there.
Yeah, Holly Lamb Sally is on the field to play, so maybe that's going to become a permanent substitution now. Because I don't think Niamh Rice has come back on the field to play, but Louth do have 15 on there. So this is the moment as we wait there for. I'm just looking there again, was the Ciara Price was on the ground. I think it's still her receiving attention there, so be a blow for her, because you mentioned earlier on, Tommy, about the strength and depth that Kildare have, and I'm just looking at players here. Lauren Murta obviously got the start today. You have Mia Doherty, Grania Keneally, Fiona Trout, Ciara Price. You know, they're the main 4 or 5 go-tos off the bench for Kildare, and they're very, very important. I think that's Roisin Byrne at the moment there now, so maybe Ciara is okay, so, or there could be, she's down helping out Ciara Price. I think the 2 of them are there, so whether Roisin's receiving treatment or just helping out Ciara Price, a bit of concern. But these are the players that are going to be vital for Kildare to have those options to, especially when you get down to the nitty-gritty of these knockout matches.
Exactly, and Diane, in fairness, she's swapped them out throughout the league and the championship. You know, players have come in and out. They have a very, very strong bench. A couple of injuries over the last year as well, you know, with Roisin and a few, Roisin Ford, a few others with knee injuries. So that just shows you the strength in the panel is so important.
Yeah, the blow there, and you can hear the applause in the background. The blow there, Ciara Price, her afternoon is over. She's picked up an injury there. I mean, she is out of the game. So a massive blow for her, hoping to use this quarter of football to make a big statement in regards to her chances to be involved in the play. And Tommy will confirm in a moment. I think it's Orla Sullivan that's on, is it?
It looks like Orla, yeah. We'll confirm that in a couple of minutes. But that break and play didn't help Louth. As you said, Louth, there was a bit more urgency in Louth's play, and they were starting to get forward a little bit, and that just killed the game again for them. Well,
it's 15 against 15 anyway on the field of play. 7 points between the teams, and Kildare will try and use up possession and use up time as much as they can, where Louth have to get their hands on the ball and get the scores. Definitely one of them is going to have to be a goal at the very, very least, if not 2, but we'll see how it pans out. Lauren Murta is more interested in wrapping this game up for Kildare and making sure that they are the group winners. Larry Kearns attempted pass to Leisha Lennon, missed out. This could be the opportunity that Louth need if Anya Breen can find a way of moving this ball up quickly. Kate Flood in possession, kicks it forward in towards the attack there outside the 65-metre line is Laura Collins. Collins, but Louth can't be going backwards now. They have to go forward and go forward quickly. Holly Lamb Sally with possession has a player to the right. That's Aoife Halligan. Aoife Halligan trying to skip inside, but she's skipping inside white jerseys. Did the job though, found Mia Duffy, and Mia's going to go for the long ball inside. This is the ball that Louth need, and it won't come for Lauren Boyle. The breaks just won't come for her in this match. Lara Kern, the goal scorer for Kildare, was the player back in her own full back line to break that ball down.
Yeah, exactly. And this is obviously what Louth realise now at this stage. They need to break the ball forward, but they need to get it in. Hope to get a break. Fantastic covering that time by Lara. But again, Laura Collins was the one winning the ball out here in the 45 to set up that. She needs to be inside a bit more as well.
She does need to be as well, as Roisin Burns moving the ball inside here for Kildare. Looks for the teammate. The teammate is Lauren Marta. And Lauren, you can just see the space there that she has, and nobody around her at the moment. Laura Collins is nearby, but she goes backwards too. And this is what Kildare will want to do now. Ellen Dowling with the ball, holding on to possession, and gives the pass off. And Lara Kern will send it across the field in the direction of Lauren Marta. Space open up there. She might decide to go for a pop. Not to be, given the pass off. This is good. Orla Sullivan to Clare. Both of the Sullivan clan back to Orla. And Orla looking for support. Gráinne Keneally there as well. The substitutes for Kildare, as Tommy mentioned, making their mark here. Grace Clifford gives it back to Ruth Sargent. And Ruth Sargent will just hold on to the ball again, find a teammate, and Kildare will decide what way they're going to do this. But they won't be taking any risks, will Kildare. Trina Duggan with the ball, moving towards the 45-metre line. 7 minutes of normal time remaining, but we had that long hold up for the injury to Ciara Price. There was a couple of other knocks too, so I would still feel that we have the best part of 12 minutes of football left in this match, but we'll see what happens. Grace Clifford in possession inside the 45-metre line, looking for options, gives the pass inside, and Kildare have given it away, and Louth now need to work this. They need to get even just a point first, get this back to 6. Anything is possible. Laura Collins though, but she's on her own 45-metre line, the top scorer for Louth this year. The Shoda Matthews out to Holly Lamb Sally, and Holly Lamb Sally being surrounded by Gráinne Keneally, not making it easy for her, has to give it back, and Louth will go again through Mia Duffy, and Mia Duffy kicks it across the field for Caoimhe Boyle. Caoimhe Boyle lays the ball off, and Louth get up towards the 65-metre line. Aoife Russell under a bit of pressure there as well, but did well to hold on to the ball and gives it back to the captain. And Anya Breen with the ball, hand passes into space, and eventually the pressure tells, and Claire Sullivan has the ball. She'll kick this forward, will Claire, towards Orla, and Orla Sullivan out in the left there as well, sending a dangerous ball inside to get the touch, and there was a touch. It went off Ayla Shant out for a 45, but Louth were walking themselves into cul-de-sacs there as well. Claire Sullivan did well to win the ball, and like that, Kildare down the other side of the field. Fantastic
work by Claire, first of all, obviously, to read that ball and to get in between the two Louth girls. Louth will be, I mean, in fairness to Kid Henry, he must be driven mad on the sideline, because they've picked up good possession, they've been moving forward, it's just been too slow, and they haven't got the ball in quickly, and Kildare have broke them down each time. Kildare with the ball again, Trina Duggan back. This is Gráinne Keneally. Gráinne Keneally to Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne on the left hand side sees Ellen Dowling. Ellen Dowling has Gráinne inside if she wants to use her. Ellen might go herself. She might give it to Gráinne. She gives it to Gráinne to wrap this up for Kildare. The shot, a goal! And Kildare are going to have a home quarter-final in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Championship. Gráinne Keneally gets her goal. I think it's her third in the championship. Gráinne Keneally scored the vital goal up in Leitrim. Gráinne Keneally scored the vital goal up in Leitrim, and in fairness to her again, ever since she came in at half time, she's absolutely ran her socks off. That goal was so important up in the northwest against Leitrim as well. Leitrim had just got back to 2 points, and this is when Kildare needed the goal again. Gráinne pops up, lovely little movement inside, and sticks it in the back of the net. 2-7 to Kildare, 3 points still out. We paused for a moment. The legendary Michael Babs Keating was here watching this game, and he was just saying goodbye to us here in the commentary box. He'd be disappointed that the Tipperary hurlers lost to Galway yesterday, but delighted to see his granddaughter Lauren Murta start her first game and be well involved in what is looking almost certainly now going to be a Kildare victory, and Leitrim now can breathe a sigh of relief, because they are going to be going into the quarterfinals of the championship as well. Lara Kern holds onto the ball, gives the pass back, and Kildare now going to move it forward again. Gráinne Keneally and a few players now will want to impress ahead of that quarterfinal. This is Grace Clifford, the two captains colliding with each other. They both wear number 8. Back to Ellen Dowling, and Ellen Dowling inside the 65-metre line. The player to the left there, the one she's helping the score, but Ellen wants to go herself. I don't know how many red jerseys are on your screen. There's about 10 around Ellen Dowling, and it took 10 to get the ball off for Emer Murray, the player to win it for Louth. Kildare now, in fairness, they're trying to keep possession a little bit. I'd say Ellen now would have been better off just coming back there a little bit, looking to pass the ball back to Grace and just start to take control a little bit. Just before the goal, Kildare had done that. They had started the whole possession. I just see the game out. There's no need to do anything crazy just now.
No, I just think it probably gets in the head at times. You just want to express yourselves, and a few players wanting to put their hand up, but as Tommy said, what the Kildare management will be looking for now is to keep the structure, be professional and finish the job off. This is Lauren Boyle, has to come out to get involved in the action. She sent it inside, an opportunity for Louth maybe, and this is Niamh Rice. When Niamh Rice is back in the field of play, that confirms that, but she's up in the attack. She wins the free. In fairness, Niamh Rice has played in the attack most of this championship so far.
They took a quick free there and it came off the crossbar. I don't know if I think the referee's allowing it. It's gone wide. They had to take a chance, and in fairness to Louth, they needed to do something like that. And I think it was Laura took the quick free, cannoned off the crossbar.
I'm glad you were watching it. It happened so quick. I turned around to ask you a question. The next thing, we nearly had a Louth goal, but not to be. And it's just those couple of chances that they've had wouldn't happen for them. Like we go back to Kate Flood there, she might talk about going for goal the first half, but she rightfully took the point. There was a couple of bounces. There was the save of Mary Hultgren in the second half, the crossbar there. Louth didn't get the breaks in this game either.
They really didn't. They haven't got the breaks at all. Again, they worked the ball in so well there as well. And Kildare's defence was good. The player was foul going through. You know, I'll absolutely say Louth did the right thing to take the quick free, though. You have to try something.
They had to try something there with just over 2 minutes of normal time, but we're expecting, I should say, about 5 minutes of added time on top of that. But of course, that's down to the referee. He's from Mayo. His name is Kevin Corcoran, and the possession now is Laura Collins, but just left it out there. Ruth Sargent, the foul committed. Fair enough on the standing leg. It's going to be a free for Louth, but just disrupts that momentum. The wind is starting to pick up here for the first time all afternoon. It is favouring Louth in the closing stages. I doubt it's going to be a factor of 10 points in this game, but can Louth even just get a goal and give themselves a glimmer of hope, because there is time there, but they're going to have to get 3 goals. And while Kildare conceded 4 the first day against Leitrim, the defence have been so strong today, I can't see them affording that luxury to their opponents here from Louth.
We see Shona Matthews as well at the wing back position, pushing really high now. They've obviously been told to start pushing up from the half back. Shona's been doing that for the last 10 minutes. She just hasn't got the ball.
Lauren Boyle sends it in, but there was nobody inside. I think she was going for the point anyway, but Mary Hultgren will happily enough take that, and Kildare will move it out the field of play, out towards the 45-metre line and out towards safety as we look at the clock, and just over a minute of normal time remaining. And how much more time will we have in that? But Kildare marching on as group winners in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship. Not quite too sure when the draw is going to take place, but those pairings will be decided. The only thing we'll know is they won't be playing Leitrim in that quarter-final. Louth take the ball back and they'll move it out the field to play. A lot of games, of course, Tommy, have only started at 2 o'clock today, so we're not even going to know potential opponents for Kildare and for Leitrim until later on this evening.
Exactly, and that draw is tomorrow at lunchtime. So we're going to find out tomorrow afternoon. I'm sure everybody will see it on social media what the pairings are, but I just said we're not going to know too much until a few more hours from now.
A few more hours from now, we do know that Kildare will be hosting one. That's the way it's going to pan out. Ellen Dowling with possession, what she gives it to Grace Clifford, and Grace Clifford to Ruth Sargent. Tommy, I'll be getting you to think about your contenders, the players that impressed you for both teams, and your overall player of the match, and we'll do that in a couple of minutes' time as we watch Larry Gilbert, the far side of the field, gives it to Ruth Sargent, and Ruth Sargent with possession out towards the right, and Kildare happy enough to play with the ball now at this stage as the 60 minutes are about to be hit. Indeed, now the 60 minutes have been hit, and it's all down to the referee how much added time will be played. My guess is 5. We'll see how accurate that will be. Ellen Dowling, the kick forward towards Lauren Murta, and Lauren Murta in the middle of the field, and Kildare go on the move. They take the challenge to Eva Clifford, takes the challenge back to Lauren, and Lauren Murta will kick a ball inside in towards the attack. Do Kildare feel there's another goal in them there yet? This is Roisin Byrne. She'll be happy enough to take that point, and Roisin Byrne puts the ball over the bar for what I believe is our 35th white flag of the championship, and it's 2-8 to 3 points.
Fantastic score from Roisin, in fairness. That's the kind of score we've seen Roisin score all year, and it's not so much the big boot that she has, how quick she was on the turn there. She gave herself that couple of yards away from the Louth player, stroked it over the bar. Absolutely fantastic play again.
You could say, argue it's their most impressive point of the game. I think there's a change there for Kildare. Lauren Burke is gone off the field of play. and Fiona Trout might be on in the Kildare defence, but we'll double check that in a moment.
I can see Mia Doherty coming in over there.
Mia Doherty's coming in as well, so Kildare are emptying the bench, and indeed Mia Doherty, number 26, is on the field to play for Kildare as well. So they know the job is done, they know they're group winners, they know they're in the quarterfinals of the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football Championship, and Kildare will be one of the teams that many will be hoping to avoid when that draw takes place tomorrow, because while granted their second quarter here will left something to be desired and will be the stick youth to beat them going forward. They've impressed. Dion Claire Sullivan is on the ground there, has received a knock, so we might have a hold up and played there before Louth get a chance to go for this score, and there was a collision there. She went down very, very quickly.
She did. In fairness, Claire has put herself about a lot in this game. She's a very physical player. She's not afraid of these challenges, and she can put herself in harm's way a lot like that. But she's been fantastic today. Claire has been. She's an engine. She's up and down the field all the time, but she has won some vital ball.
She won some vital balls. Well, with the hold up and plays, Tommy, let's run through the players that have impressed anyway, and for both Louth and Kildare, and you can give us your overall LGFA player of the match.
Okay, so I suppose from a Louth point of view, obviously it's a very disappointing day. Things didn't really get going for them. I actually thought Rachel Burt in the second half, she took up that responsibility of taking on Roisin Byrne, and she did a very good job on it. In fairness to her, Anya Breen, the captain, has tried her best to drive them forward all day. So those two players definitely impressed for Louth, and they were trying to, as much as they could in the background Eilish hand as well, picking up a lot of breaking ball. From a Kildare point of view, in the forward line, obviously Roisin is she's kicking fantastic points, making some good moves. Grace in the middle of the field, and then since Claire went in with Grace in the second half as well, the two of them have worked very well together. Claire Sullivan has picked up some really, really good ball and driven up and down the field. Ruth Sargent, centre half back, has been absolutely brilliant as well. In fact, throughout the whole game, she reads the ball so well for such a young player. As I said, she was a minor last year. She's done really well. But right beside her is my player of the game, Lara Gilbert from Kildangan Nerney. I think Lara has been phenomenal in the whole game. She really has picked up so much of that dirty ball that they call it. She's won 50-50 tackles. She's brought fantastic aggression. She's stopped Louth dead in that half back line and so many times, and then her good kick passing as well started a lot of really positive attacks.
Congratulations to Lara Gilbert. She is the LGFA player of the match. Louth were just on the move there as well, but the Kildare defence keep it out again, and it really is, as I say, the second quarter we talked about with Kildare, but defensively they've just been excellent throughout this game, led by Lara.
They really have in fairness. It was quite difficult to pick out that player of the game, even though if I had to pick it from the defence. So many of the girls in defence have done very well as well, so you're not going to pick up Leisha and Aoife and Lauren in the full back line. I mean, they have been impenetrable all afternoon, so it's difficult to pick a player because everybody has been good. There hasn't been flawless from Kildare. Diane will not be happy with a lot of things that's going on, but they've got the job done. That's all that matters.
Yeah, the second quarter in particular, but defensively after conceding the 4 goals against Leitrim, she'll be delighted how they managed to deal with that. Even if there was 1 or 2 scares over the course of the game, we have played 4 minutes of injury time, of course, with the hold up there for Claire Sullivan. I reckon another 2 minutes at least before this game wraps up. But it's Kildare 2-8. It's Louth 3 points. They're celebrating in Carrigan Shannon throughout County Leitrim now, because that swing is not going to go against them, and the Kildare supporters will be celebrating here in the next couple of moments. But Louth have possession again. Can they finish on a high? Can they finish with something big, just to give them that bit of a lift after a disappointing conclusion to their season that promised so much when they were 4 wins out of 4 at the start of the Little Ladies National Football League, and among the strong contenders for promotion and for the league title, a push in the back. It's going to be a free in for Louth, and it'll be an opportunity here to get a score. There's one thing, Tommy, we were going through an awful lot of things, and we wait to keep an eye on this free. Even with Kildare being the favourites coming into the match, I don't think anybody expected Louth to only score 3, possibly 4 points.
No, they didn't, in fairness, because we know the players that Louth have. Louth will be very disappointed, especially, as you said, such a positive start to the year, and how the end of the league went and how the championship went. There's a lot of good things going on in Louth at the moment, up in Cooley, Kickham's and that. There's some good clubs doing some really good things, some really good fundraisers. There's a lot of good things happening in Louth. Under 16C Leinster champions recently as well. So, please God, it'll kick on again next year.
Oh, most certainly as well. It'll be disappointing how the season has panned out as that ball goes to the right and wide. They have been impressive, and of course in Division 3, after only getting promotion a couple of seasons ago, they held their own in Division 3, even if results went against them in the closing stages. I think there's 2 balls in the pitch. Or are we going back to take the free again? I'm not too sure there.
Yeah, he's retaking the free again. I don't know what happened. I think maybe the Kildare player was too close, so they have another chance to get something out of the game before the end.
Laura Collins getting ready to take that, but I was just going to say Louth's lowest tally this season was 1-5, 3 games in a row during the league. One of them, interesting enough, the game they won against Kildare, who are on the verge of 10 competitive wins in a row and 13 out of 14 this season. It's impressive form if you're a Kildare supporter, wherever in the world you may be. This is Laura Collins with the ball for Louth, but that ball goes across to the left and wide. 6 minutes have been played, so how much more time are we going to have in this? And of course we could have a bit more time. Only the referee, the man in the middle, knows. We keep an eye on Kevin Corcoran, but he's going to have another bit of play in this match anyway. And Kildare restart the action, and the ball down the direction of Mia Doherty doesn't work out, and Louth will go on the attack again, but that ball in towards Rosie Maguire, cut out by the player of the match, Lara Gilbert, and now Kildare will hold on to the ball. Roisin Byrne moving up the field, gives a kick forward in towards the attack, hoping that Orla Sullivan can get on the end of this. It's not to be. The referee is looking at his watch. It's going to be a sideline kick for Louth. And I think, are we going to have the end of the contest here now as he holds it there, looking around for action. Louth getting ready to restart. They play, and it's taken. The referee blows the final whistle, and it's all over here. You can hear the Kildare supporters in the background. The scoreboard has gone off very, very quickly here. Thankfully, you can see it with us. But Kildare have won this game by 2-8 to 3 points. And Tommy, your overall assessment of the match?
A win is a win. That's Kildare had to win. Either that win or a draw. At this stage, when it's knockout football, it's Kildare just wanted a performance, but they needed a result. That was the most important thing. I think Louth are going to be very disappointed. They really are. It's that downward trend that they've been on. Apart from that Wicklow game, they just they haven't really done anything really since that match in February. Diana O'Hara will be able to pick a lot of negatives out of this game as well as positives. There was a period there in the second half as well. There's a lot of sloppy passing, a lot of ball given up by Kildare. So a lot of things to work on. Kildare did get the job done. There's some big days ahead for Kildare. They have their eyes on some big prizes this year after disappointing last year in the All-Ireland series after winning the Leinster title. So we'll see how we go. But all in all, as a Kildare fan, I'm pretty happy to get the result. That's most important.
No doubt, and you're not the only happy Kildare fan here as well. Just talking about Louth, yes, on paper, one win now at 9 since that game of the 19th of February doesn't look good. But we are talking about a Louth team here that were considered relegation candidates in Division 3 at the start. They wouldn't, with all due respect, be considered All-Ireland contenders at the start of the campaign. Kit Henry has come in, and of course, we mentioned at the start of the game, Shannon McLaughlin not there as well, and with Ciara Nolan, Ciara Woods, Caitlin O'Reilly, Rebecca Carr, other players missing for them as well. So, probably the toll of the season caught up with them in that regards as well. But you touched on it there near the end of the match. They have a lot of good foundation built in 2023 to try and improve next year.
They really do, and things that obviously started so well for them, and they were missing a lot of players. And as you can imagine, like when you're missing if Kildare were missing some of their top players, they might struggle as well. But again, as you mentioned, Shannon McLaughlin, Ciara Nolan, and Rebecca Carr, huge losses for them. But there's something good happening in Louth at the moment. There really is. There's a lot of buy-in at the moment. They have a fundraiser on recently. Win a wee van. I mean, that would make you want to enter just from the name alone. As I said, they won the under-16 Leinster title recently, so they have a lot of young players coming up. There's a big buzz around Louth ladies football at the moment, and even the likes of this getting to this All-Ireland stage as well, and a good bit of coverage in the Louth media, which they do. They have podcasts up there. They're constantly highlighting the game. There's something good happening in Louth football, and it'll be worth keeping an eye on over the next couple of years.
Almost certainly in the men's and women's game as well. I'm just thinking of the wee fan there. We might think about our cameraman Dermot Flaherty there. We might enter the contest with that himself. For Kildare, as you touched on there as well, nobody will be getting carried away, but after changes in management, the disappointment of last year, there's still things to work on. That second quarter certainly won't be good enough going forward for Kildare, but they have bought into what Diana O'Hara is about this season as well. 10 wins in a row. I don't know if Kildare have ever done that before. You might know the answer to that question as well, and they're exactly where they wanted to be at the start of the year, in an All-Ireland quarter-final, 2 trophies in the back pocket already and competing.
Exactly, now you said it. The big thing about the Kildare team this year was they knew in that intermediate championship they're going to come in, and it's going to be some difficult games, teams in different divisions, but the win in Division 3 for Kildare was huge. It was massive. To get over the line, to get up to Division 2, they've failed in the last couple of years, and they were struggling, and then they ran into the likes of Roscommon and Wexford at different stages. So once they got that league win, the relief, and they're almost expressing themselves a bit more. And even in the Leinster Championship final, they were so good that day. But I actually saw the celebrations weren't as as exuberant as they were against Clare in the league final, because they know now they're on a path, and they know they want to get this All Ireland, they want to get this intermediate All Ireland, they think they deserve it. But again, it doesn't all have to happen in 1 year. Diana Hoare's done such a good job there. A lot of players have left the panel from last year. 2 or 3 minors have come in from that successful minor team last year. Kildare won the minor championship again this year. They got to the under-16 C final. The under-14s got to the All Ireland semi-final, where they lost to Mayo. So there's a lot of good things happening in Kildare football at the moment. But this is the season that people are starting to actually notice them a lot more. But getting up to Division 2 for me was massive.
You touched on this as well. I know you're trying to play it down a little bit, but the final question before I let you go, as a Kildare man as well, I looking at you here, you know, our viewers can't see it, but I think you believe we know they can win it, but do you believe that this Kildare team can win the All Ireland this year?
I do. I absolutely do, and I think it's because of that panel that you mentioned it as at the start as well. There's so many players. We saw the players that come in. I mean, we saw Gráinne Keneally coming in there at half time. And I didn't mention her, and I probably should, but she was in my thoughts for player of the game, and she only played one half of football. She was fantastic. And that's the team. Ciara Price as well. Hopefully her injury isn't too bad. If people like really young players like Amy Larn, who we didn't see, who Leinster Rugby are looking at the moment, and Irish Rugby as well, and trying to take her off our hands. You know, they have so many assets there as a Garda squad. Can they win it? I think they can. There's some big teams there in this championship as well, and Kildare know that they have a lot of obstacles to go. Do I think they can win it? Yes. Do I believe they can win it? Yes.
Well, they're in the conversation, definitely. That was the voice of Tommy O'Connell. Delighted to have Tommy to join myself, Darren Kelly, here in the commentary box. And, of course, our thanks to our cameraman, Dermot Flaherty. Well, Kildare football supporters will be heartbroken after the disappointment of their men getting beaten by Monaghan yesterday in the All-Ireland preliminary quarter-final. But I'll tell you one thing, you have a good Kildare football team building up there as well. And can they make it to Croke Park? Can they be All-Ireland champions? We will see. For Louth, a productive season. They've built on an awful lot, even if the results didn't go their way. No doubt they'll be back competing next year, but today is Kildare's day. They are the winners. They qualify for tomorrow's draw as group winners. They will host the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Ladies Football quarter-final, and they did it in style in the end on the scoreboard. The 2 goals they got, giving them the results that they required, and they both came in the second half from Lara Kern and from Gráinne Keneally, and they went out here 11-point winners in the end. Kildare are true. Congratulations also to Leitrim, who qualify for the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate quarter-finals. We hope you enjoyed our coverage here, brought to you in association with Stream Sport Ireland on the LGFA in-player service. The final score here in Hawkfield in the Mangard Plus Kildare Centre of Excellence. Kildare 10 wins in a row. They're in the quarter-final, and it finished Kildare 2-8. Louth 3 points. Plus Kildare Centre of Excellence with the kick. Never a couple of points, but they will try and win it and bring us back here, or maybe somewhere else. But that's an opportunity for Kate Flood with a shot, and Kate Flood puts the ball pass forward for Grace Clifford. Grace Clifford, the captain, sends it inside, and this is another good opportunity for Kildare for Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne with the kick. Root one down. Roisin Byrne with the free. The ball goes over the bar. 8 minutes. Ruth Sargent turning inside, gives it to Aoife Rattigan. Aoife Rattigan has the space for the shot, and Aoife Rattigan puts the ball over the bar. They're loudly signed to their fate. The umpire goes for the white flag. 15 minutes gone. It's 5 points. It was coming in today. Ellen Dowling with it. It's going to be close. It's going over the bar. Have to win. It's that simple. The kick from Laura Collins. The umpires look at each other. The first wheel turnover of the second half so far. Louth guilty of many of them in the first half. And this is Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne down the right there looking for options inside. Rachel Burt is staying very, very tight with the hand pass inside. Chance here now for Kildare to goal. It's a goal for Kildare. And this is a chance to put 8 points between them. That's going to turn in for Roisin. And Roisin puts the ball over the bar. And Kildare are starting to stretch as we approach the final quarter. Indeed, we're in the final quarter. A kick at Kate Flood. So Kate Flood's not the player that's gone off the field. My apologies. Fantastic. Gráinne Keneally to Roisin Byrne. Roisin Byrne on the left-hand side sees Ellen Dowling. Ellen Dowling has Gráinne inside. If she wants to use her, Ellen might go herself. She might give it to Gráinne. She gives it to Gráinne to wrap this up for Kildare. The shot, a goal! And Kildare are going to have a home quarter-final. Do Kildare feel there's another goal in them there yet? This is Roisin Byrne. She'll be happy enough to take that point. And Roisin Byrne puts the ball over the bar for what I believe is our 30th